All right, wow, this light is bright. I need to work on that. Riu Bambu, let's go. Saturday night, I'm diving right into the video, right into this experience. I'm off to the neon party. It's just about to peak. I gotta make this quick. You better love people if you're coming to a Riu in Punta Cana. These hotels are not for the introverted or antisocial. It was a madhouse when I got here at noon. That's check-in, check-out time. It was crazy. I just finished up dinner at the buffet. Typically, Riu food is like gruel. They all used to be that way. It still kind of is, but I've talked about this before. Riu continues to make strides in their food. For one of the cheapest all-inclusives in the world, the food is barely decent, which is actually a win. So I might have the worst Riu hotel room in all of Punta Cana. I'll talk about that probably tomorrow because this party is about to peak. Riu Bambu, Punta Cana, let's go. What was that? How many Riu parties have I been to in the last 2.5 years? Countless. How many different Riu party zones have I been to? Those I could probably count. Punta Cana, Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Cabo San Lucas, Jamaica, all at least once, if not twice, and then Costa Rica coming up later this year. You'd think I'd get sick of it. I'm impressed every single time I hit a Riu party. They're almost always a guaranteed awesome time. And how is a hotel party the best party in the city? Hotels are supposed to be lame. You're supposed to go to a club or a downtown block or area. How is Riu taking over all of the fun on vacation? I don't know, but I'm all for it. It's all in-house. I don't have to leave the property. Whether you want to just chill out in the back pool, get some food, or if you want to be in the heart of the action, the Riu parties are where it's at. There's nowhere else I'd rather be for a great time in Punta Cana. So I desperately need some food. I desperately need some more caffeine. I desperately need a break, but that's all gonna have to wait. The sun is out. It's absolutely perfect right now. We're headed outside to either the pool, the beach, or both. So Riu Bambu is a monster. It's gigantic. It's much larger than I ever anticipated. I'd say walking from front to back is easily a half mile or more. Definitely 10 minutes. It's labeled nicely, lots of signs and maps and guides, but even with all that, every single time I've left my room, I've been lost. I've been here for at least 24 hours. So hopefully I'll figure it out. There's supposed to be like 3 or 4 pools here. There's one right outside my room, literally. So we'll probably hit that last. Right now, this is the main area. I think the beach and the pools are pretty much right here. So quite simply, Riu has some of the best beaches in all of Punta Cana. These properties remain at the top or near the top of my list. They do differ a little bit between each property, but generally speaking, they're all kind of the same. They are supreme in pretty much every major aspect that matters. The water is stunning. It's nuclear blue. It's radiating turquoise. The wave action for Bavaro is pretty gentle. The sand is a lovely off-white color. It's extremely comfortable to walk. There's really 2 beach areas in one. There's a wide strand sandy area that goes on for as long as the eye can see. The main area where everybody enters the beach is extremely packed, but if you're willing to walk down just a few hundred steps, you literally can have the beach all to yourself. One of the coolest aspects of the Riu beaches is the shady palm tree area. This is what you're coming to Punta Cana for, but sometimes all day it can be a little too much, whether it's the heat or the sun. But if you like being out here, but just not out here the entire time, those shady areas are where it's at. So while I walked to the buffet, I want to fill you in on Chilli's last night. It's a dinner that went backwards. I didn't have a lot of hope going in, considering the price of this hotel, which I will fill you in on, and considering the buffet experience from last night. When I walked in, I found out it was pretty much 90% buffet at the Mexican place. And you'll see this at Riu hotels, where it's 80% buffet, and then they might have like 3, 5, or 6 just like a la carte items. This place had 3. So I went to the buffet, and it was like shockingly good. For a Riu, okay? For a Riu, it was shockingly good. Tuna, the ceviches, the desserts. The buffet was exponentially better, exceptionally better than the main buffet. They only had 3 items on the menu, and I ordered 2 of them. The grouper came out, and it was small, but actually pretty good. And then the steak came out, and it was below average. So I guess it turned out to be mediocre at best for a Riu, which I guess overall is kind of below average. But considering the price of the hotel, which I need to fill you in on, not a miss at all. So I need to fill you in on the room, I need to fill you in on my itinerary, and I need to fill you in on the breakfast buffet, which I'm over to right now. So we're back to our old ways. The Riu buffet here, not good. Not good at all. Like the Riu of old times. I was pretty spoiled by the ones in Montego Bay. This one is reverted back to its old self. The one at Chili's was a nice surprise, but that one at Colonial, it really can be avoided. I've resorted to my old omelet and donut diet. Those are usually the 2 best things at a Riu buffet. This place reminds me of like a college campus without any of the responsibilities and all the most fun. But everyone's kind of in the same type of building. Everyone's here to have the best time ever. You know, you got clothes hanging over the balcony, parties in the hallway at 3 o'clock in the morning, random hoot and hollering, you know, just random debauchery. If you missed the college experience, or if you never had the college experience, or if you want to know what it's like, come to Riu Bambu. So here's the game plan. I'm at the main pool right now. It's about 2:30. I'm going to pregame here for about an hour. The jungle party, the foam party, starts at 3. I'm going to head over there around 3:30, 3:45. Let it pick up a little bit of momentum before I walk in. Usually that party peaks around 4:35. And then after that, there is a magician show tonight, which I'm actually excited about. 2 nights ago, it was Michael Jackson. Last night, it was an acrobat show. I've seen those so many times. I have never seen a magician show at a Riu, so I'm really interested in what that's going to be like. So main pool right now, pregame, and then jungle party over at the Riu Party Zone. The sun just came out right when I got to the main pool, and the main pool is the perfect place to spend an hour. That's it, just an hour. It's very Soviet Union style. It's your typical Riu pool, one long rectangle, not very creative. Divider in the middle. There's music out there. The Riu team came out at around 2:30, 2:45 to liven up the crowd even more. There was a lot of energy, fun music. It was well staffed, a bar on each side. The perfect place to pregame. But pregame only. Now we're getting on to the main event. It's almost 4 p.m. The party should be peaking. Headed over there to check it out. That was the best Riu party I've ever witnessed in my life. Never, ever would have I expected to be saying those words during rainy season on a Monday. That was beyond description. Maniacal, insane, crazy, chaotic, wild, electric, bedlam, rambunctious, rowdy. Like, I got there way too early. I forgot what time the day parties peak at. They peak around 4:15, 4:30, all the way up till 5. I think I got there like at 3:30, 3:45. They were going crazy before the DJ was even playing good songs. They were going crazy before like the foam started dropping or any of the theatrics started. And they kept that up the entire time. I've never seen a crowd like that, ever. Wow. What is Friday going to be like? This is just a Monday. What is Friday going to be like? Well, I'll tell you because I'll be there. I'll be over at Riu Palace, Macau, so make sure you check out that video. I did enjoy my dinner at Palm Beach last night in the sense that it was the best meal I've had here up until this point. That's not saying much, but it was definitely the classiest setting of all the restaurants here, right on the beach. It was quiet. One thing I really liked is that it was an instant meal. I sat down, and the second I was seated, that house salad was right in front of me. It was actually pretty good. And then the setup is like a Brazilian steakhouse where they are constantly grilling and barbecuing the meats in back. I ordered the mixed platter, and it was on my table within 5 minutes. I will not comment on the rest of the platter, but if I was going there again as a civilian, I'd go back and order that steak every single time. Wow, this property is a zoo. Pure chaos. It's a Tuesday during rainy season. Unbelievable. So I had to cut the magician last night. He's one of those goofy, corny, wacky, quarter behind the ear, sock out of the mouth, where'd the ball go, rabbit out of the hat magicians. I don't have the patience for that to begin with. And then after his tricks started taking 20 minutes, I bolted. The hotel will tell you that he's rated E for everyone. I actually rated him an A for adios. So that's it for Nightlife here. I can't believe the entire hotel came out to see that guy last night. Like, that's actually kind of cruel. That's a twisted joke. There was music that went on after that, but that's it for Nightlife. There is a sports bar, but that's really no substitute for Nightlife if you've been to a decent Riu, a Riu Palace, or an adults only Riu. So tonight I'll probably have to get creative or cut it altogether, we will see. So now in retrospect, that's where I should have been last night. Furthest away from the magician, closest to the bar, easiest place to numb the pain. I will tell you when that sports bar is the place to be, and that is during the day. I couldn't find it like a lot of places on property. It was tucked away back behind the theater, and even after looking at the map, I had troubles locating it. I think for that reason, that's why there wasn't anyone in there today. And it was so cold. It felt amazing. And there are games in there if that's your thing. I had a burger that was surprisingly edible. It could be the most underrated place to be here during the day. Now at night, I think it's probably a different story. Because it is next to the theater, because it is the only nightlife option here, and because it's so small, I could only assume that place is a madhouse in the evening. You know, the pool right outside my room is fascinating because it's the one that's furthest away from everybody and everything on property, but yet it's the busiest pool. Possibly it's reverse psychology. Maybe everyone thinks that because it's the isolated pool, no one's gonna be there, and then once they get here, because it's so far away from everything else, they just happen to stay. I did spend my afternoon out there. I had a Coco Loco. That was probably the best thing about the afternoon. I decided to forego my dinner at Culinarium last night. I just didn't have it in me. This morning I did wake up and I went over to the buffet for breakfast. That omelet guy is a genius. How he can make such a gargantuan omelet from such a small pan is incredible. He was doing the flips and it was delicious. That omelet along with the steak were absolutely the two best things I had to eat throughout my entire trip here at Riu Bambu. So the room here at Riu Bambu, is it the worst Riu room in Punta Cana? Absolutely, for sure. Now, Riu always does a pretty good job of delivering on their rooms for the money that you pay. I've never been disappointed, but this is the absolute closest. The room is certainly deteriorating, if not dilapidated. The mirrors are chipping, the sinks are cracked, the TV is fuzzy, the walls are thin, the sheets are stained, gross, and the towels are brown. Why are they brown? Because they hide stains. Yuck. Not only that, I'm in building number 6, which is the furthest away from every single thing on property, all the way at the end. It is literally 50 feet away, right across the street from the Riu party zone. The pool is right outside, so to say it's noisy would be an understatement. And not only that, I have the very first room on the very first floor, which means there's traffic nonstop. Normally I would be dejected and depressed, probably even furious, but I'm not in this situation. And why, you might ask? Well, the shower is extremely hot, the air conditioning is extremely cold, and just $5 to the minibar guy turned a meek minibar setup to a mini 7-Eleven. And plus, the silver lining, the price of the hotel. For the cost of a decent dinner, you get access to some of the best hotel beaches and hotel parties in the world. So 3 negatives, 3 positives. Let's get the negatives out of the way. The first one would be the food and the drinks, but I'm gonna cancel out the food. It's not as bad as it should be for the price, but the drinks are absolutely atrocious. They are the worst drinks I've ever had at any all-inclusive. Watered down, icy, diluted, bland. Number 2 would be the size of the property as well as the layout. It's gargantuan, also confusing, extremely comfortable walking shoes, advanced patience, as well as an understanding of cartography are very much needed to navigate this property. And lastly, the property is packed. It's a zoo, the crowd is loud, I'd even say obnoxious. It's a family frat party here at Riu Bambu. Non-stop action, constant commotion, all 24 hours here at Riu Bambu. The pools are packed all day and night. The crowd I will describe as relentlessly festive. If you're looking for just a little bit of solitude, serenity, or tranquility, I can promise you it is not happening here at Riu Bambu. So those are the negatives. What about the positives? The first big one, the obvious one, is the beach. These are some of the best beaches in Punta Cana, arguably some of the best beaches in the world. I was absolutely amazed at how beautiful they were, even during rainy season. Number 2 would be the service. I'm not calling it great, I'm not calling it outstanding, but shockingly good and prompt and friendly for the price you're paying here at the hotel. And lastly is access to the Riu Hotel Party Zone. That's worth the price of the hotel on its own. Not only is it the best party in Punta Cana, it's the absolute best value in Punta Cana. I'm not sure where else you can go and have a better time for a cheaper price. So ultimately, in the end, I'm giving Riu Bambu a 2. It's one of the cheapest all-inclusive resorts in the world. And with that comes negatives and positives. Those with the right temperament, attitude, patience, and budget are gonna have a wonderful time here. Others who have expectations that are formed around maybe previous all-inclusive resort experiences or other Riu hotel stays may find themselves a little disappointed. Ultimately in life, you get what you pay for, and I think that statement could not be any more true than when you stay here at Riu Bambu.